Hello children, welcome to social science class. Today in SPL unit 1, we are going to follow the next chapter. So before that, we'll just have a recap. So yesterday, as we learnt about the recognizing the dignity among the people, and we learnt about the equality in Indian democracy, how the people are treated equally in this Indian democracy. So as we saw so many things, there doesn't see the whether the person are male or female or from which caste or from which religion or from which tribes, or whether the person has been educated or not, and economically they'll be seeing about the background, whether they are rich or poor. So all these sections are there while we are comparing the persons, isn't it? So here they ensure the equality, as we learnt about the parliament, right? So here there is no variations in between the people. So whoever want to go inside the parliament, they can go. There is no restrictions to get inside the parliament. And we saw for all the person one who are living in Indian democratic country, all are equal, whether he is a president or prime minister or chief minister or a people or a man or a woman. So whoever it is, so the law is equal to all Indians whoever live in this Indian democratic country, isn't it? So and we saw about the midday meals, which was introduced by Kamarajar, and we saw so many remedies has been taken to ensure that midday meals, isn't it? So that the poor children, they came to take food first, and later on they got interested in the education and they were studying there. In that implementation of Kamarajan, we saw so many changes has been done, isn't it? Because we saw so many causes over there between the parents and the children. For example, the children, while they are learning, while they have to have a lunch, they have to go home and they have to walk a mile, so that they couldn't return to school. And the poor parents, they'll be working, so that those parents, they have to come and feed their children, and they have to go back to their works. So these are the problems they faced. But now, after starting this midday meals, what happened? The problems has been solved for the parents as well as for the children. So later on, they saw all the poor children, they were very eager to study because of this midday meals. And for you all know that if a child was feeling very hunger, he or she couldn't learn very well, isn't it? So the government fulfilled the thing. For example, the Supreme Court ordered to give the food for all the children. So this bring the full attendance in the school. So these are the implementation which has been done through the schemes. So not only that, for example, all the children who were all studying in the school will be treated equally. For example, the cook who was making the midday meals was also from the Dalit family, right? So they didn't see the variation later on. So here comes equality among the people, among the students. So we are enriching and ensuring the equality among the people. So these are the implementation. We saw that the government has been ensuring the equality among the people, right? So here later on, as we are seeing that even though they were treated equally, certain discrimination was happening here and there. For example, when we see this Om Prakash Valmiki story, we see that discrimination between the student, teacher and the particular Dalit child, isn't it? So here the Ambedkar talks about the discrimination as he speak about many reasons. The first thing is about disgraceful situation. So he was talking about the disgraceful situation which was happening for the people who are living in our country, right? And the main thing he spoke about is of self-respect. So one person should see the self-respect, and he or she should not leave the dignity for others, isn't it? So this is the main thing each and every human should know. So if we want that self-respect, we need to work hard to get that, isn't it? So whatever may be, we shouldn't leave our self-respect. That is the main thing Ambedkar was instructing us. And as we all know that one day we all will die, and if that particular human doesn't have the self-respect, what will happen? So as the human doesn't have the self-respect, the person is zero, isn't it? So here, with this Ambedkar story, I want to explain that not only in India democratic country, there is variations between this discrimination, like caste, with the caste, religion, or color, or whatever else. So it was followed in other countries too. So here let us see that issues of equality in other democracies, like other countries. So here you can see some of the issues of equality in other democracies. For example, we can see inequality here and there. Why? Because of the attitudinal change. For example, if one in the school itself, if one change has been bring to the student, means it was very difficult to change the habits first, isn't it? So later on, what will happen? The instruction as follows, the other children will follow. So that what you have to do, you might be change yourself and you will follow that restrictions, isn't it? So this is the same thing which was happened in between the humans, so that we need to change our attitudinal change, that we should not see the caste or religion or whatever else, isn't it? So to ensure the equality in a country, we need to struggle a lot. Yes, definitely we need to struggle a lot. So at last, in the struggle, so the main thing we must ensure is the equality. So here, not only in India, as I told you, not only in India, so many countries are also facing this discrimination. So here is an example. So is this equality problem seen only in our country? No. So it was happening in all over the country. So let us see. It's a story about which was happened in USA. You all know that there are two kinds of people which were African and American were living there. So here the ancestors, the Africans, they have come to USA as a slaves. So they have come here to work for work. So they are called as African Americans. So they are called as African Americans. So you all know that Africans are little dark and the Americans will be white in color. They were fair when we compare to the Africans, isn't it? But still there is a discrimination when we, for example, if we got a job or if we get a job in America, it's a great problem. They are seeing the discrimination of color now also. So it was happening now. And so in 1950, here the discrimination happened between the African Americans, isn't it? So you know one thing, here the law in India, the law was not supporting us, because for example the law was not supporting the discrimination. But here in America in 1950, the law itself supported the people that they can do whatever they want, isn't it? So here after later on, from the story we can know that one day in a bus, so for example in a bus all will be sitting together, no? But here in USA, what will happen, it seems the African people have to sit at the last seat. So the African Americans have to sit at the last seat. They should not mingle with the Americans. So this American, when they get inside the bus, what they have to do, if they want to sit in that particular seat where the African American was sitting, they will make them to stand and they will sit, it seems. So see the discrimination, see the inequality in other countries too. So one day what happened, the Rosa Parks, she is a lady, and she was sitting in a bus, and she was a very hard worker. She was working for a long day, she couldn't stand, so she was sitting in a seat. So one American is making her to stand from that seat. So he is telling that I want to sit in that particular seat, but Rosa Parks, so she is refusing to give her a seat because she was very tired. She couldn't get up from the thing. But the white man was instructing again and again to get up from the seat. So this was happened in December 1st, 1955. So here the Rosa Parks refused to get up from that particular place, isn't it? So that act is mentioned as civil rights movement. So here you can see in the book. So her refusal that day started a huge agitation against the unequal ways in which African Americans were treated, and which came to be known as the civil rights movement. So here the Rosa Parks bring the moment as civil rights movement, and this is the act which was happened in 1964. So why this was happened? So it was prohibited. This act was implemented because those people who are discriminated, they are discriminating the other people, like black people. So here this movement has been bring because to not to see the race or religion or national originality. So even though it also stated that the schools would be open to African and American children. There was no separate school for them. They have to go to that particular government schools. They are not allowed to get admitted in the private schools. They have to go to that certain common school. And one thing, those children doesn't have the facilities. That means they doesn't have the proper facilities, and that they doesn't have the money to afford to attend the schools like private schools. And that there were no efficient teachers to taught for them, so that they have the poorly qualified teachers. So when we compare to the white student schools, it will be very low. The education level will be very low, and even though they should not go to the private schools, as they are when we compare, for example, as we are studying in the CBSE school, and there are so many schools like metric and whatever else. So if the teachers were qualified until for example, they will be qualified whether the teacher may speak in English, or they may speak they speak English fluently. So this is the main thing they'll see in the teachers, isn't it? Then only they'll appoint for the English or other subjects like. Okay, so same thing has been followed in USA. So for this they have bring the act as civil rights movement. So with that they came in to know about the discrimination and inequality which was found among the people. So here in Indian Constitution, what happened? They bring the act as Article 15. So in the Indian Constitutions, it brings Article 15. It ensures, though these rules ensures that all the people are equal in India. For example, here you can see the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. So here you can see the state. So it mentioned, for example, state particular word, if it starts with the capital letter S, it denotes the country. So here in all the states, you should not discriminate any other people. So all the people are equal in our country. Right? And then you can see that no citizens are not illegally treated. So all the people should be treated equally, so they can go for the temple or park or wherever, hotels, restaurants, public places, shops. So you can see all the people are moving around here and there equally in India, right? So here they bring the act as Article 15, that everyone should be treated equally in India. So we learnt that today we learnt about that equality among people are being ensured by India. So that as we have to change our attitudinal changes. So if we want to change that, there are so many strategies we need to face so many struggles to change this. So you are all a future children. When you grow up, so just come out of this caste. Okay, so now itself you may know the Hindu religion people are getting married into Christian, and Christian people are getting married into Muslims. So now itself they are not seeing the caste. As you grown up, you have to think that all humans are brothers and sisters, because in all humans you may know that only the red blood is running over there, isn't it? There is no changes of blood colors. So all your blood is of red color. Only the blood is variation, like A positive or B positive, like that, isn't it? So from this lesson we come to know that in future we should not see the particular person is from particular caste or religion or anything else. Whatever else, you must think that all the humans are equal in a country, and this you should teach for the future children. Okay, children. So by this I'll end up this class. So today I'll be posting some homeworks like one words and some question answers which you have to learn. And today's homework is off. You have to read page 12. Page 12, that is off, from issues of equality in other democracies to this act, article 15. Up till this you have to read it. So after reading this I'll be posting some question answers and this one words to learn. So after that you can learn and send it, write the notes once and send it in the Google Classroom. Thank you, dear children.